Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, family and friends. This another week has gone by of this. I don't want to say insanity, but this nonsense. But a couple of things I want to talk about. One, I want to talk about school vouchers that's being voted on here in Texas this week. I also want to talk about the cuts to Medicare and Medicaid, as well as the wasteful spending and this 5K that's supposed to be going out to people. Okay, let's start with that. Let's just say that does happen, and everybody's supposed to get 5K, $5,000 card, check, cash, whatever the case may be. So all this wasteful spending that we've been finding, or that they've supposedly been finding, all this wasteful spending, they're just going to turn around and give that money away. That doesn't help with the debt. All you're doing is moving money. You're moving it from one place to another. That's it. You haven't solved any savings. The money is still being given away. Like, how does that make sense at all? Hey, we're going to try to solve this debt process, but we're just going to give the money away anyway. Does that make sense? It's so ridiculous. That's if they even do it. Okay, if they even do it, and even beyond that, it's crumbs. It's crumbs. You're giving us crumbs back from all this billions and trillions of dollars that you say are supposed to be. We're getting 5,000. How much of this is how much tax breaks are the corporations getting that are donating to your campaigns? How much money is he getting in government contracts that aren't being looked at for wasteful spending? It's just so stupid. Cuts to Medicare and Medicaid. Here's something that y'all don't think about, especially folks in rural areas. In the rural areas where a lot of the MAGA Trump supporters are in rural areas, country, far, etc., etc. These cuts to Medicare and Medicaid, what you don't realize is that some of your hospitals are going to be closed down because they don't have enough money to stay open. So instead of having your hospital that your grandpappy was born in, your mama and your daddy was born in, you were born in, your kids were, now that hospital gets closed down and you've got to travel 80 miles, 120 miles. You got to travel 2 hours to the next hospital. Okay? That's a good question. Am I going to cash that 5K check? Oh, I'll cash any check. You could be my worst enemy. If you want to give me money, I'll take it. I'll use it to buy beer or whatever. Absolutely. I'll take it. And whether or not I think it should go out in the first place, that's a different question, which I don't think it should go out in the first place. But if I get it, yeah, sure, I'll spend it. Why wouldn't I? I paid taxes for it in the first place. Technically, it's my money anyway. Anyway, we'll get past that. Besides the point. School vouchers. This is the one that really, especially here in Texas, I really can't believe that your lawmakers don't think these things through. All right, Texans. What do you do on Friday nights? What are Friday night lights? What's that all about? Football, right? High school football, right? Well, once these vouchers, or if these voucher things go into effect and people start going to private schools or homeschooling, what do you think is going to happen to athletics in your public schools if they don't have enough money or enough support or enough students to even field a team? Your great American pastime is going to That's what vouchers are going to do for you. I know you didn't think about that, but that's just an unintended consequence of what's going to happen. So we'll move on. If you don't care about your high school football, Okay, vouchers might be the way to go. There's the end of your sports programs for all your public schools. All right. Texas will no longer be a mecca for football. All right, we'll get past that. Now, here's the big one. All these government layoffs, like, I'm just gonna take a step back on this one. All these government layoffs from whatever departments, whether it's CIA, FBI, Homeland Security, whatever, all these government employees. Okay, you're just laying off thousands of these government workers that have, some of them have security clearance. Some of them know national security secrets. Some of them know a lot more information than the average citizen knows on how things operate. You know, the SOP, the standard operating procedures for these agencies, what those agencies do, what they govern, how long it takes for them to get things done. So you got all these government workers with all this knowledge suddenly unemployed. And along comes knocking on your door, I don't know, China, Iran, Iraq, and they say, hey, you know what? We could use some skilled technical people. Why don't you tell us what you did at that government agency? Why don't you tell us how they operate over there in the United States in the department that you used to work for that just screwed you over and fired you for no reason? You don't think these things through? What is that not a security risk to have all these thousands or tens of thousands of government employees that are now unemployed and have no source of income? Am I just, does this not be past the realm of common sense? Am I just crazy to say this sort of thing? Does it not make sense? Yet we've got billions of dollars in SpaceX, which is Elon Musk, because he wanted to replace NASA. You know, they're trying to close down NASA and just have SpaceX and have it privatized. Like, bro, follow the money. Follow the money, people. If you think I'm crazy, look it up for yourself. Anyway, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna keep this short. There's one other thing that I want to touch on because it's kind of, to me, it's hilarious. The Gulf of America, the Gulf formerly known as the Gulf of Mexico, the body of water formerly known as the Gulf of Mexico. If it is really the Gulf of America now, because it was so proclaimed, if it's really the Gulf of America now, why do we still need a passport to go into the Gulf of America? Why do we still need a passport? Is it still not international waters now? They don't think these things through. I really think things like that are really just a distraction. So we're not paying attention to how much money Elon Musk is getting paid. Because you better believe that his businesses or the businesses he's created so that he can get government contracts, he's making a whole lot more. Matter of fact, I would bet my left arm right now that he is today making more money in government contracts than the total amount of money that Doge has supposedly saved us. I would bet right now. Anybody want to take me up on that bet? Big bank take little bank? I would make that bet. Anyway, let me check my comments. I'm sorry. When I've been there. Oh, well, I'm not sure I quite understand that comment, but when you say they shouldn't have been there in the first place, what do you mean? Who shouldn't have been there in the first place? They can get us just, who do you mean that they shouldn't have been there in the first place? Are you talking about the government workers? Like the contractors, the extra workers that they pulled in so that it would lighten the workload so that they could get the job done faster? You know, for example, let's just take IRS workers. If you like getting your IRS refund check, say you file in February and you didn't want to wait till June or July to get those refund checks, they brought in extra people to help with the workload. So you got your check. If you filed in February, you got your check no later than March. Okay. Without those extra workers, you might not get your check till June or July. Okay. So that's just an example of where extra workers, why they have extra workers in certain government departments, to help with the workload so the work gets done faster. Anyway, any other questions before I end the live? I'm happy to answer them while you got my attention. Okay, follow the money. And CRT. Oh, for the last day of Black History Month, CRT does not mean critical race theory. CRT means change the real truth. That's what it means to me. Change the real truth. Anyhow, thank you guys for watching, and have a good Friday and have a good weekend.